Wow, this place is a shithole. And here I thought it couldn't get any worse than the combat zone.
Hello everybody, welcome back to some Fallout 4. As you can see, we're in Good Neighbor to progress the main storyline one more stage, and also as you can see, Kate has a little bit of new equipment here. The weapon I gave her, if you recall, the lower her damage resistance, or her armor rating, or whatever, the more damage it does. So you might be wondering, well, why would you give her armor then? Well, I gave her two standard metal arm pieces, because I think they look better than the other ones on her. And I made them weighted so that her melee attacks ignore some of the enemy armor themselves. So I feel like overall it's an improvement. Because I don't know, like, because her armor rating, since they're still just base level metal armor arms, they obviously don't provide that much protection. So I feel like it's probably not going to lower her damage by much, if anything, because I imagine there is an upper cap to the amount of damage you can get. I was going to look it up. I forgot to. It doesn't really matter anyway. Since you won't be traveling with us for too much longer, I would think.
Sweet Pip-Boy, brother. You hold on to that.
I will. It's always weird when the ghouls have hair. Anyway.
Well, Mr. Valentine, I thought you had forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt.
So yeah, until this point we can't go downstairs and talk to Amari, and we also can't progress Kiri's main quest line until then. We also can't progress Nick's, but that's not really much of a... I don't know. They do give a reason for why it's not until after this quest that you can progress his, but it's not a very good
Dr.
one.
Amari?
Yes? Wait. I remember you. The memory inducement. Vault 111, right? What's this all about?
This one's all yours, Nick.
We need a memory dig, Amari, but it's not going to be easy. The perp, Kellog, is already cold on the floor.
Are you two mad? Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse, you don't realize that the memory simulators require intact, living brains to function.
Isn't there some way to make this work?
This dead brain had inside knowledge of the Institute, Amari. The biggest scientific secret of the Commonwealth. You need this, and so do we.
Fine. I'll take a look. But no guarantees. Do you have it with you?
Here's what I could find.
What's this? This isn't a brain. This is... Wait. That's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
I'm not surprised. From what I've seen, all Institute technology has a similar architecture.
So the brain is still good, right?
Possibly. There's no sign of decay, so the tech is probably preserving the tissue, injecting some kind of compound to keep it stable. But there's no way to access the memories inside without a compatible port.
You're talking about me, right? I'm an old synth. If the Institute built me out of similar parts, we might have an in.
There could be long-term side effects. I don't know where to even begin with listing the risks.
Don't bother. I don't need to hear them. Plug me in, Doc.
I appreciate this, Nick.
You can thank me when we've found your son. All right, let's do this.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine, just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
There we go.
Okay. So here's another magazine that we couldn't get to until we got down here. It's also the only thing that we had left in Good Neighbor. And as you see, includes Krognak the Barbarian holotape, which I want to say is...
I need you to keep talking to me, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, what's the name of
Any
that
slight change in
game?
your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
Well, here, I'll show you. They're just doing, like, diagnosis stuff. Grognak. Barbarian. There it is. Grognak in the Ruby Ruins. Oh! This isn't what I thought it was at all. Find yourself in a worn but well-kept tavern filled with all manner of folk. It's time to recruit some help for your quest to stop Kellog. To whom will you speak? Alright. So that's what it is. It's just a standard text-based adventure. We're not going to actually play
Flashes.
it.
Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant.
Tell me you have a way past this, Doc.
Let me think. The encryption is too strong for a single mind. But what if we use two? We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers. Run your cognitive functions in parallel. He'll act as a host, while your consciousness drives through whatever memories we can find.
Any idea what I'm gonna see in there?
I have no clue. But considering we only have a single piece of the medial temporal lobe and not the whole brain, I doubt it'll be cohesive.
All right. Let's get started.
Just sit down over there and keep your fingers crossed.
See you on the other side.
Alright. So now, because we came here and we did the Memory Den quest, which was just if when you show up you can relive the first part of the game
Between the transplant and the host.
where Sean gets
Mnemonic
kidnapped.
activity coming from the
There
transplant.
should be some
It's
unique
degenerated,
dialogue.
but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on.
This is a very This is also going to be like a very
Can you hear me?
dialogue heavy part. By the
Good.
way.
The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location.
Alright, so yeah, this is a very cool mission.
This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
You walk along these neural pathways, there's no way to fall off. You can't die in this at all. And when you come here...
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way.
Remember,
And she protected me from
you are
Dad.
experiencing these memories as Kellog. This may prove
That cost her more than a
disorienting
few
at first.
beatings. I never knew what happened to her after I left. I didn't want to know. Not then.
So yeah, as it plays, if you go up to places, certain things, you can
Dad was
have
either
Kellogg
drunk or
monologue.
not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but I never really knew what he did. Don't know why Mom was with him. Maybe at some point in his life he wasn't a complete asshole. I was such a dummy back then. What did I know about how the world worked? I think now she wanted me to kill him. I should have. Instead, I ended up running away. I told myself I wanted to find somewhere out from under the thumb of the NCR and all their rules. But really, I was running from the guilt of not protecting her from Dad. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, though. People always hoping for something better. They usually end up with something worse.
California Republic. I'm sure that's going to take some getting used to for a lot of people. She What a joke.
What's it mean, Mom?
Nothing, Connie. People like to talk and hope someone else is going to keep them safe.
Teacher at school said the NCR would bring back the good old days. Like before the big war.
Don't you listen to that twaddle. I'm going to stop sending you if that's what they're teaching you.
I'm going out. Where the fuck did you put my boots?
Listen to me, Connie. You take this. You're old enough. You're the man of the family now. It's your job to protect us. Your father's useless, but you won't turn out like him. You're a good boy. And all that on the radio. All useless talk. The only thing that will protect you in this world is that gun in your hands. You need to learn to use it if you're going to survive.
I will, Mom. I promise. I won't let you down.
You've always been my good boy.
This doesn't seem to be what we're looking for.
Now, I don't
There appears
remember.
to be another intact memory close to you in temporal sequence. There. Try that
Now,
one.
yeah. So I don't remember if there's a way. It doesn't seem like there's a way to restart the memory, but either way. You also don't technically have to... Okay, so it just restarts on its own by the looks of it. You also don't have to stick around for them. I'll show you when we get to this one. As you can see, like, there's already another exit there. I do believe that if you go to step on it, she'll just be like, oh, alright, well, let's move on.
The thing about happiness is you only know you had it when it's gone. I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. Focus on the petty bullshit or next job or whatever. It's only looking back, by comparison with what comes after, that you really understand that's what happiness felt like. I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. If she'd never met me, she'd have stayed in the hub, maybe hooked up with someone who didn't kill people for a living. Probably been happier than she was with me. Almost certainly lived longer. It's gonna be fine. You'll see. Whatever made me think that a guy like me should have a daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second.
But we don't know anybody here. And now, with the baby?
Come on, Sarah, you've got to give it a chance. I finally got steady work with a good outfit. Nothing like that in the NCR these days.
No, I'm not saying this was a mistake. I'm just... Are you sure these guys know what they're doing? They seem kind of green.
I know, but that's where I come in. Just wait. In a few years, I'll be running my own crew. As soon as I make the connections I need. Then I can give you anything you want. And little Mary, too.
I never worried about you before. Must be my mama instincts kicking in. Who knew I had those, huh?
Come on, you're great with her. And you don't need to worry about me. Most of it's just running security for the she. A lot of standing around looking tough.
Well, they sure picked the right person for that job.
Listen, it's gonna be great here. See this? This is what's gonna keep you and Mary safe. I promise.
I know, Connie. I'm sure we're gonna be really happy here.
We are. You'll see. That's okay. I got it.
Let's keep looking. I'll connect you to the next intact memory.
So yeah, as you can see, he wasn't always a ruthless prick. But, you know, in a world like this, shit happens, and even somebody like that can turn into... What he turned into.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you? Just so you know, they died like dogs. And you weren't there to help them.
I found another memory to try. I'll connect you.
So yeah, as you can imagine, I'm not actually sure if they go into more detail on that or not. So I'll wait until we get to this next memory to see. But yeah, as you can see, something happened and he pissed off the wrong people and they took his wife and kid.
Mind if we sit down?
I didn't care where I was going. Ended up mostly wandering east. Getting as far away from San Francisco as I could, maybe.
Suit yourself.
There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. Sometimes just roughed up, but dead was usually what they wanted. Sometimes there was always a job for someone like me. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter who I was supposed to kill. I got pretty good at it. I don't remember much from that time. It all kind of blends together. There was almost always a bar, though. That's universal.
So, I hear you'll take care of people's problems. Is that right?
If you pay me.
Oh, we'll pay you. And, you'll do this all by yourself?
That's right.
We pay you when the job is done. Is that okay?
That's the way you want to do it? So who do you want dead?
Well, it's like this. There's his family. Lives down the creek a ways.
Well, we seem to be getting closer. Try this next one.
See, and then they leave that one blank, like, oh, did he actually take the job? Would somebody that had that happen to him go after somebody else's family?
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
I finally ended up in the Commonwealth. I kinda ran out of road. Plus, I'd come to terms with life. I wasn't gonna be stupid enough to get mixed up with caring about other people again. It was just me against the world. And the world had it coming. So, the first synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time. They still give me the creeps, but you have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute. You're with the Institute. I wanted to see for myself if you really existed. You heard all sorts of rumors about the Institute. But I figured they were just a convenient boogeyman for anything bad that ever happened. They were real, all right. They didn't know anything about operating on the surface. Relied on their synths for everything. They had the resources I needed, and I had the expertise they needed. Turned into a permanent arrangement, which suited me just fine.
We do.
The first synths weren't all that impressive.
As you can see.
What do you want?
It's come to my attention that you've been rather disruptive of our operations lately. This must stop.
I do what people pay me to do. If that's a problem for you, I could see only one way out.
And what's that, Mr. Kellogg?
If I'm working for you, there's no more problem. From what I hear, you can afford me.
I don't think you fully understand the situation you're in.
I think I do.
Very well. B-748, initiate. Impressive. We may have something to talk about after all.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something. We're running out of brain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis.
I was now the Institute's main operator in the Commonwealth.
I'll try to locate another
If they
memory
needed
as
something
quickly as I
done,
can. Please
they
try
came
to
to
remain
me.
calm.
Wasn't usual for anybody from the Institute to come along on a mission, so this one stood out. They didn't know then who it was we were grabbing from the vault. Of course, neither did they. Not really.
So yeah, that line there that she
Vault
says
computers
about,
are
oh my
still
god,
working.
not this again.
That's good.
The
That's
eggheads
because
never
we'd already
liked
done
taking
this.
orders from a dirty, contaminated degenerate like me. But they needed me, and I made sure they knew it.
Checking through the logs.
The eggheads never liked taking orders from a
So yeah, and also as you can
dirty,
see, they're all still labeled
contaminated
as mysterious
degenerate
figure.
like
That
me.
only happens if you've done
But they needed me.
the Memory Den quest and
I
played
made
through
sure
this
they
once
knew it.
before. If you didn't, then they show up
Hopefully it's
as
all
Kellog and
Find it.
Institute
Pod
something.
C6. Down the...
I never knew why we didn't just refreeze the rest of them. But we had our orders. I guess the old man didn't want so many loose ends. Too bad he left alive the one person he shouldn't have.
Hall near the end.
So yeah, as you can see, everybody else was still alive when they came through here.
Even then, I knew it was a mistake leaving him alive. I understood that kind of revenge. No one better. But I was cocky enough to assume I could handle some soft, pre-war vault dweller, even if he somehow got thawed out. At least I know those Institute bastards will soon get what's coming to them, too. If he could take me out, they won't be able to hide from him for long.
Very cocky. Very confident in his skills.
I'm glad I didn't have to kill the kid. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but, I never liked to. And yeah, I guess it did remind me of, her. Yeah, I'm a cold-hearted bastard for sure, but, still human. Better this way, though. Better than taking her kid and leaving her alive.
This is the one. Here.
Open it.
Is it over? Are we okay?
Almost. Everything's gonna be fine.
Come here. Come here, baby.
No, no. I've got him.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you Sean!
God damn it. Get the kid out of here and let's go. At least we still have the backup.
Cryogenic sequence reinitialized.
What's the holdup?
I'm almost finished, Kellogg. I just need to confirm. Come on, come on, come on. All right, we're good.
I'm sorry you had to go through that again. I found another intact memory. Whenever you're ready.
Alright. So yeah, as you can see, by that point, you had already basically lost all semblance of anything worth keeping alive in him, you know?
Is that your son? This appears to be a very recent memory. So, good news, I think.
Wasn't my idea to settle down with the kid in the middle of Diamond City. I thought it was a terrible idea, actually. But it was one of the old man's pet projects, so here we were. Me and the kid, like a happy little family. I ended up kind of liking it. A reminder of what my life might have been if things had turned out differently. But there's no going back. I knew it was just temporary. It'd be back to normal business before too long. This whole setup in Diamond City was part of some elaborate plan of the old man's. Seems obvious now that we were bait for our friend from the vault. Timing couldn't have been an accident. It's not how the old man works. I wonder if he outsmarted me in the end. Another loose end tied up.
Oh, so you can tell that it's recent because they're talking about Piper on the radio.
Kellogg.
It's okay. The new breed of synths could easily pass as human. Some of them did. But the coursers, they weren't built to blend in. They were killing machines, pure and simple. Smarter, stronger, and faster than almost any real human. I'm just glad they were always on my side. One of these days, you're gonna get your head blown off just barging in here like that.
Minimizing my exposure to civilians is a priority.
Forget I said anything. So what's the big crisis this time?
New orders for you. One of our scientists has left the Institute.
Left? As in?
He's gone rogue. Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the glowing sea. Here's his file.
Wow. Some heads are gonna roll for this. Capture and return, or just elimination?
Elimination. He was working on a highly classified program.
No kidding. One of the top bioscience boys? Damn. So, I guess you're taking the kid back with you.
Affirmative. Your only mission is to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay.
Don't think he was supposed to move like that.
X688. Ready to relay with Sean.
Bye, Mr. Kellogg. I hope I see you again soon.
Bye.
Teleportation. Now it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance. Let me pull you out of there as soon as you're ready.
Alright, so couple things before we exit. In the scene where he fights the synths there, where he kills them, it is actually possible in... I don't know if they ever got patched, but I know that at some point it was possible to pick up the guns they drop. But if you did, there was a more than decent chance that your quest wouldn't actually progress. Like, you would finish the whole memory sequence, but then when you left, it wouldn't actually count as being done. I don't know why, but that's the thing. And if you stand next to them as they teleport out, you can actually take some damage. That's it. That's all I got for like little tidbits for this quest line. Or for this sequence.
Slow movements, okay? I don't know what kind of side effects the procedure might have had. No one's ever done this before. How do you feel?
I'm okay, Doctor. Thank you.
That's good, but I want you to keep monitoring yourself. We have to be sure there's no long-term damage. Are you ready to talk about what happened in there?
We got what we needed. The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out.
Yes, Their greatest secret has finally been revealed. But that only leads to more questions. How does it work? Where do we go next?
That scientist Kellogg was supposed to track down. Virgil, we need to find him.
You're right. A rogue Institute scientist could answer all kinds of questions. Where did the memory say he was? The glowing sea? That doesn't make sense. No one goes there. Not even if they were desperate.
That's why he's there. To make the Institute think twice about following him.
That must be it. He's using the radiation in the glowing sea like a shield, or a cloak, a way to throw them off and be at an advantage. If Virgil found a way to survive there, you'll have to do the same. If you're going to follow him.
I'll find a way to get through the rads. Don't worry.
Good luck. And be safe. By the way, I unplugged Mr. Valentine first. Removed the implant while you were waking up. He's waiting for you upstairs.
Alright, so as you may have
have a
noticed, it
minute?
did
I
say
think we
that
should
Kate
talk.
idolizes us, so...
I always have time to listen to you, Kate.
Good. Because this isn't easy for me to say, and I want to get it right. Where do I begin? Did you know I spent 3 years fighting at the combat zone? 3 years of getting beaten to hell by a bunch of losers and lunatics. After the matches were over, I'd spit out the blood, stitch me wounds, and do a couple of shots of Psycho to keep me going. I fucking hated it. I hated the crowds, I hated the other fighters, and I hated myself. I never understood why I put myself through all that. Until now. It was because I was alone. And I think deep down, I wanted to die. I wanted one of my opponents to crush the life out of me, the easy way out.
Well, that's the past. You're not alone anymore.
Then maybe you know what I'm trying to say to you. My life's been nothing but one huge failure after another. You've heard all my stories, and you know the prices I've paid. There were a few times, when things got really bad, that I found myself staring down the barrel of my own shotgun. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I guess I was praying that I could find a single decent scrap of humanity in this fucked up world. And then, what you did for me back there at Fault 95, it was like the answer to those prayers. That's the first time in me life I fully depended on someone else, and they didn't let me down. God damn it, I'm making a mess of this.
You're not messing anything up. You're doing just fine.
I'm trying to hold it together. Maybe I should just get to the point. The longer we've been spending time together, the more I'm beginning to realize what you mean to me. And I'm not just talking about you watching me back or sharing a drink together. I mean more than that. Before we met, I'd never let me guard down around anyone. I didn't dare. But with you, I feel like I can let you in and see me for everything that I am. For better or for worse. Look, I can't go back to the way things were before we met. I won't. But what I need you to do is look me in the eyes and tell me you feel something too.
So because we flirted with her is why we're getting this dialogue. It is slightly different if you don't flirt with her beforehand.
Of course I do. I'm in love with you, Kate.
You're what? You said you're in love with me. I didn't know. I mean, I felt something between us, but I thought it was something else. Why? Why would you fall in love with someone as screwed up as I am?
To tell you the truth, we're both a little screwed up. A perfect match for one another.
I can't argue with that. This has to be the first time I put all my cards on the table and didn't end up losing everything. You don't know how much this means to me. To have someone special in my life. I promise you. I mean to make the most of it.
Alright, so yeah, we got the Trigger Rush perk now. And we also got a like there from Nick, which puts him back up at max, I imagine. Now let's see, Trigger Rush. I don't remember what this one does. Action points regenerate faster. Yeah, if your health is below 25%, which is why I didn't remember it, because it's not a very good one. Sleeping while you have a romantic companion nearby temporarily grants you the lover's embrace. Because just like in Skyrim, it just assumes that if you go to bed, you're with whoever you're in a relationship with next to you, you're gonna have sex. So there's also, I think if you haven't done the railroad quests yet, one of these pods, I think this one maybe, Deacon is in it. Oh right, we never did upgrade that outfit, the Silver Shroud outfit.
Hey, Valentine.
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head. I was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
Nick, are you still in there?
What? What are you talking about?
You sounded like Kellog just then.
Did I? Huh. Mari said there might be some mnemonic impressions left over. Anyway, I feel fine, so let's get going. Or I could head back to Diamond City, since you've got company already.
We have to head into the glowing sea. Any advice?
I'm a synth, so radiation isn't much of an issue for me, but an old suit of power armor might just be the guardian angel you're looking for. That, or you could buy up all the Rad-X and Rad-Away you can find from any chem dealer who's got it in stock.
Let's get going, Nick.
Been one heck of a ride so far. Let's see where it takes us next.
Alright, so Kate can go, well, she can just go to Sanctuary for right now. I might move her somewhere else later, but I don't know. Alright.
That whole business with Doc Amari and Kellogg's memories, it got me thinking. It's just there's still some Nick Valentine history I've been wanting to put a bow on for a while now. I could use a hand if you're willing to take a crack at it.
What kind of history are we talking here?
Well, this one's straight out of the archives. Once upon a time, in the land of Boston, there lived a king of organized crime, Eddie Winter. He was a bad man who did a lot of bad things, hurt a lot of innocent people. But he knew the end was coming, so he sealed himself inside a personal shelter, located underneath a sub-shop he used as a headquarters.
Eddie Winter was from my time. Real scumbag.
The story gets even more twisted. The arrogant bastard wanted to cheat death, live forever, so he could come out of that shelter someday into this brave new world. Sound familiar? Only Eddie didn't want to be a frozen banana. No cryo sleep for him, no. He invested his money in some sick, crazy radiation experiment.
Nick, you can't be saying what I think you're saying.
Oh, I'm saying it all right. Eddie Winter went and turned himself into a ghoul, 200 years before it was fashionable. Hell, he was probably the first one. And I'm convinced that he's still locked inside that shelter. Safe and sound. Ready to come out and begin his evil reign all over again. I'm gonna find him and kill him, so that never happens. You in?
I don't get it, Nick. Why kill Eddie Winter, even if he is still alive? This sounds like some kind of vendetta.
I've got memories of a girl. My girl. They're not really my memories, I know that. They're Nick's. But the girl, she was real. She was beautiful and innocent, and Winter killed her. Now he's got to pay the price. So, knowing that, are you in?
All right, Nick. Let's get the bad guy.
You're a good man. Now, I know where Winter's vault is, but the door is sealed with a complex numerical code. Lucky for us, Winter's arrogance knew no bounds. Back in the day, he recorded 10 holotapes, incriminating different criminal associates. On each one, he hit a single number. We find all of those holotapes, we get all the numbers. We get all the numbers, we get the code. And then we get Winter. I've been putting together a file on this one for a while now. There's a pair of holotapes in here worth listening to, including one of Winter's. I managed to snatch from the Cambridge police evidence lockup before getting swarmed by ferals. My gut tells me the Boston police evidence terminals are the key to cracking this one. It's probably worth paying a visit to any of the departments you might have stumbled across.
Alright, so now he just gave us a bunch of information. But we won't be doing that quest until next part. So we'll go over everything he gave us then. Hopefully I'll remember to do that, but I don't see why I wouldn't. We still have one more holotape to get. And it wants us to go to the regional office, so it's possible that I missed I doubt that I missed a holotape, but I may have missed a computer terminal that'll tell us where the last one is. But anyway, yeah, next time we'll listen to Eddie Winter holotape 1, Eddie Winter case notes, and the Welcome Home holotape. So, well, I guess we probably won't be listening to the case notes. That's probably something that we read. But yeah, that'll be it for this part. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next week where we will finish off Nick's personal quest.